All right. I hope everyone's having an awesome Friday. We're so excited it's Friday here, and we're excited that the day is finally here for Dr. Dressler to share with AAO his little tips and tricks, inside scoop on hybridizing his practice, which is awesome. My name is Mackenzie Bergenbeck. I'm the Marketing Creative Director here at Rhinogram, and I have the pleasure of introducing Dr. Dressler, Keith Dressler. He's our chairman and our CEO here at Rhinogram, and is also a practicing orthodontist. So Dr. Dressler has more than 35 years experience in private orthodontic practice. He currently serves on the advisory board of the American Teledentistry Association, and he's also an avid entrepreneur, a serial entrepreneur, you might say. In 2000, Dr. Dressler co-founded OrthoBank, a cloud-based automated accounts receivable platform. Many of you are probably familiar with it. And it currently serves over 4,000 healthcare providers and is doing more than $450 million in sales annually. OrthoBank made the Inc. 500 out of 5,000 lists 5 years in a row for being among the most fastest growing private companies in the United States. In 1998, Dr. Dressler co-founded Elite Physician Services, a national healthcare patient finance company. And as CEO and chairman, Dr. Dressler grew the business to $2 million in sales before it became City Health Card in 2003. And now we are so blessed and lucky to have Dr. Dressler here with us for Rhinogram, and he's going to share with you today all about hybridizing his practice. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here.
And I will say thank you for the introduction. And as some of y'all will know too, that OrthoBank was sold to OrthoFi at the end of 2020. And if y'all use OrthoFi, y'all are also using OrthoBank as well. So at any rate, I want to introduce you to what I would call hybrid patient care. And to define that a little further for you, it means to me seeing the patient in the office and seeing the patient from their home. So it's both. And Rhinogram's platform actually gives you an incredible tool to be able to do this entire patient journey through in-office visits and home care visits through the platform. So I wanted to walk you through the next slide, please, Mackenzie, sort of what ideal hybrid care means to me. And it means minimizing the number of in-office visits for your braces and aligner patients while maintaining best-in-class care, which will ultimately result in happy patients, staff, increased practice profitability with this combination of care. So next slide. So what do I do? With braces cases, I have been able to decrease the number of in-office adjustment visits by 40% by seeing them when I can every 16 weeks, doing a virtual check-in at 8-week intervals. So when you as a practitioner say, you know what, I can probably wait 16 weeks, and at 8 weeks, I'm going to check in on them to make sure nothing is loose or broken or anything of that nature. And the way I do it is we send out a text with a few photos that we want them to selfie us. They selfie us those photos. All I need to do is see that nothing is loose or broken. And we ask the question as well, is there anything loose or broken that you're aware of, so that we get verbal and visual confirmation. Now, what that's going to do for me as well, obviously, it frees up a tremendous amount of chair time. It requires fewer employees to actually see patients, and it decreases my overhead, because if they walk through the door just in PPE stuff you're looking at probably $100. So if I can decrease the number of in-office visits, I'm going to also decrease overhead and increase net profit because I'm not spending the money on PPE. Next slide. So where is it that we do the virtual stuff? What can we do from home, let's say? So I pre-screen as many new patients as I can through what I call a cursory exam. And you can go to my website, look, and we have a free cursory exam button that they can click. And when they click that, we ask them to send me 3 cursory pictures of their teeth. And they text those pictures into my practice. For those of y'all who believe that they need to see more than 3 pictures, which in some instances you do, then what you do, I would never ask for more than 3 at the beginning, because the more you ask for, the less likely it is that they're going to do it, and you don't get the cursory exams that you want. If you're wanting 6 pictures or 9 pictures, my recommendation to you is to ask for 3. Once those come in, send them another text once you've started the conversation, and then ask them for others. That way you have got the conversation going, and then you can say, I really need to see this better or that better, and ask them for whatever you want. But the cool thing about it is you're not taking up in-office time to actually do this exam at your convenience, and they're sending pictures at their convenience. And so you're really doing it on both sides in a time frame that is convenient for both parties. And then if the patient is somebody that we feel we can treat, we try to give them an exact cost with a payment plan at that time, and we move all intake items to their home. And what I mean by that is all the consent form, insurance documentation, pay arrangements, COVID-19 forms, health history. We have what is called Rhino forms, which is a mobile forms with e-signature, are simply texted to their phone. They can fill these forms out at any time from their phone. A lot of moms say they fill it out in carpool line, waiting for their children to pick them up when they have, that free time to do nothing. And it really makes the process simple and easy, so that when they actually come into my practice, they're not having to fill out anything. We simply have them back and begin to do what I would call the real exam. And you're going to see some of this in just a minute. So next slide. So what do we do in office? So the patient comes in, we've collected all their forms. We've actually, in most cases, we have given them the cost, set up pay arrangements, and plan for a same-day start. But when they come in, we take the patient immediately back. We do the x-rays, photos, and scans, get them into the computer, put them in the new exam room, and come in and do the physical exam, even though we may have planned to put their braces on that day, so that I can physically see everything. And if there's something unusual that may preempt this same day start, I'm able to explain to the mom or parent whatever's going on. And it could be an adult patient too. So for instance, we've had retreats that have had shortened routes once they come in. We've had supernumerary teeth we found that we can't see from an exam, and things along that nature that I need to talk to them about, thick labial frenums, tongue ties, etc. And I get the opportunity to explain all of that before we proceed. And if something is found, let's say like supernumerary teeth, we went ahead and put the braces on. We didn't put wires in, but the next step was to get them to the oral surgeon to have the teeth taken out. For foreshortened roots, what we did was, I explained what the potential liabilities are, see if they still wanted to go through with treatment. If so, we initiated it. And I've yet to have anyone not go through with treatment because that's how bad I guess they want it. So what I did in office was all of that. And then it supplemented what I got through Rhinogram through the cursory exam. And by the way, the other thing in the cursory exam, how it saves time, is there are people that really all they're interested in is money, meaning, can I afford treatment? And by being able to tell them the cost, they are very, very honest behind what I would call the texting mask. We have never really met. We are not face to face. They're not embarrassed to tell you, oh, I had no idea it was going to cost this much. I will never be able to do it. Or they may say, well, I'm going to have to wait 6 months and save money. Versus what they're going to tell you in office is I need to go home and talk to someone and see if I can do this. And when that happens, what ends up happening from your practice side is your financial coordinator or TC ends up in phone tag with these people who may never go through a treatment, but they're spending a ton of time trying to connect with them and only to never connect with them, or worse yet, spending time and then the patient finally saying, I just am not going to do it. Or they say some other excuse. Well, all of that can be preempted by doing cursory exams, and you're not taking up chair time in your practice by being able to pre-screen these people sooner. So that's what these things here do. Next slide, please. This is what my virtual smile assessment looks like. I ask them for 3 pictures, and on my website, it shows them this, and it's basically sharing with them, I'd like to see a picture with your back teeth together and your bite fully closed. Then I would like to see the tops of your upper teeth, tops of your bottom teeth. And they send this in. So other things that happen in office, and then how Rhinogram supports these virtual things. So staff communicate with each other about patients and about internal items. And what Rhinogram has built in is what I would call team chat and smart routing, and the ability to bring multiple people or multiple departments or multiple individuals. If you're a multi-doctor practice, if you want another doctor to look at things, you can bring in anybody through a simple text, or through, if you're familiar with Slack or using the @ symbol, you can @ an individual, @ a department, and bring them into a conversation. And so staff can talk with each other about patients. Staff can be brought into conversations in other ways, or these messages can be routed to various, again, individuals or teams, depending on what you want to do with the communication. This is just showing you, if you'll look at this left-hand bar, this is what Rhinogram looks like once you've logged in. You've got a My Task thing at the top left, and you've got patient messages and team messages. Team messages is where all the communications are going to occur between your team. And what our team does, we use it for lots of things. We enter in everything that we buy for purchasing anything, and we enter the costs that we're paying, so that if we're at a trade show and we don't remember what we're paying for gloves, let's say, we could click on that part in team messages, and it would tell us what we're paying for gloves, and I could see, am I getting a good deal or not a good deal? What did I pay for this? What did I pay for that? We also use it to store continuing education. They can snap a picture, put it in, and we actually create a team for that, where the lady who is in charge of recertifying all of my staff and myself, she's in that team, and she can simply go to that one spot and gather all the information that's needed. And likewise, when they re-verify you annually for insurance, you have to give them all your latest credentials. So we keep all of our credentials in Rhinogram as well to make it simple for everybody. Next. Again, what is traditionally done in office, whether you're doing this on an iPad or whether you're doing this with still paper forms, documents are usually signed. And again, we move all documents to mobile forms with e-sign. And any new patient, whether they called or whether we've started the communication through text, even if they call, we ask, can we text them the forms to fill out versus mailing them or emailing them? And virtually everybody wants them texted when they understand that it's a mobile form and can be filled out on the phone. And this is just an example. If you look at the far right of this screen, the patient, what they're going to get is a secure link to the form, and they'll click the link. It'll open the form. There's nothing for the patient to sign into. There's no username, password, or anything. The form comes directly back into Rhinogram. We're notified that we've received the form, and we have a document manager that helps understand which forms have been sent out to whom, and which forms are back and which forms are not back, so that you can create reminders for these people to send these forms back if they haven't sent them back. At any rate, next slide. Here's other things that we do in office is we collect payments from time to time. Usually this is an initial down payment or remakes of retainers or repairs or things along that line. Is the payments that we traditionally collect. And what we've been able to do is, again, move this outside and collect through text to pay. And this actually can be done if they're having to wait and you know that it's going to be a charge. You can actually send them a text while they're in the chair and they or in their car at the waiting room now is the car, and they can actually pay their bill then. And from a past due standpoint, it's wonderful because, again, it's so private. They're getting, right now my patients are still in the car, in the parking lot, and we're texting them back and forth to come in. But if it's someone that traditionally we would have to say, hey, can you stop and talk to our financial coordinator on the way in or on the way out, we can simply text them when they've checked in from their car and say, hey, you have a past due balance of this. If you would like to pay it now, please click the link. And if not, please stop by the financial coordinator's office on your way in and please speak to her about maybe remaking new pay arrangements or whatnot. So it's a really, really nice feature, and it keeps things very private and non-embarrassing. Patients really love it, especially past due. Next thing is what we do, again, traditionally, a treatment coordinator would be doing the initial exam and presentation type of thing. What we do is when we're doing this virtual care or this virtual cursory exam, we can have the treatment coordinator set up what I call a virtual meet and greet after they've done some texting together to more personalize this, and they get on and start talking to them, and then they will, and this is through video, and they can then bring the doctor in for a brief hello and whatever the doctor would want to say. And this is what Rhino video is. Again, if you notice the patient, if you look in the dark blue at the bottom underneath the lady picture there, it's simply a link they click. So they don't have to again, download any special thing for our video. It's simply click a link. They're put directly into the treatment room with the treatment coordinator, and they can go from there. The only thing they have to do is click the link on their phone and then allow audio video, and it just puts them right in. So you don't have these technology or technical problems that you run into, like a lot of us did, not me, but necessarily, but a lot of doctors, they said when they began to do Zoom calls, etc., the patients didn't know how to download Zoom. They didn't know how to get in, and there was technical difficulty that things would freeze. And if we were frozen, let's say right here, what we're able to do very easily is text them, because all you need is one bar of service. Hey, we're frozen, try the link again. And if it continues to freeze, rather than waste anyone's time, you can go to templated questions and answers if you need to, and maybe taking some more pictures or what have you, whatever you're looking for when you use the video feature in Rhinogram. And again, from the patient side of that, patients do not have to download an app or log in to any portals. So other tasks that we do in office is repair, braces, retainers, aligners, that sort of thing. And again, we train all of our patients now to, if they have a perceived emergency versus a phone call where we can't tell if it's something that needs to be seen now or not now, we share with them, please save yourself a visit and selfie me any problems that you might have. And when they do, that photo, and I said text that photo in, and that photo creates the visual understanding of, is this something we need to repair right now, or is this something that can actually wait to their next in-office visit? And this is things that typically we see. And as you can see, 90% of these in my office are handled with a simple text back versus an in-office visit. But the picture on the left, and by the way, I've never trained them to circle anything. This is just how good they are. The picture on the left is showing where a bracket had come off the molar, and the wire's still sticking there. Ask if it bothered them at all. It didn't. Okay, we'll repair it at our visit, and we would put that on what we need to do for that patient. The next one, you can see we have a series tie. That bracket had come off, and I go, is it loose or turning in any kind of way. I texted with them, no. And when I say I, not necessarily me, but one of my assistants did, and we're able to keep them out of coming in and costing us a minimum of $100 for this extra visit. And as you guys know, it also throws a crimp in the schedule that your assistants don't like, and pretty much everybody doesn't like, from the front desk all the way down, because it's more people in your day. And I call these things unplanned work, meaning you didn't plan to have to do this today, but you're having to do it today. And the fewer of these that you have to handle, the better off. And this is how you can keep folks from coming in. Next. Other things that we do is, photos with the patient and myself or staff. We take these in office, but how Rhinogram actually supports this is we use those and we text them to the patient and ask the patient if they would mind sharing it on their own social media pages. So the next slide is going to show you what I mean by this. And patients absolutely love doing this. And to me, you're using your patient base as a sales force for your practice. But more importantly, it creates the patient loyalty. They love seeing themselves. And of course, you're in there, and this is me. I'm in there. And then it's wrapped in our logo stuff. So we send this to our patients, and they put it out if they want to. And we'll do this even if they've put on the chart, they do not want to be put on our Facebook page. So we do ask, will you allow us to put this on our page? Some of them say yes, some of them say no. But those that even say no, put it out on their stuff. So even though they don't want me doing it, some of them will do it themselves. So it's worth sending them their own photo because they like it. And even if they shared it just with their family, not on any social media, and they're sharing it with their family amongst themselves, it is, again, a great advertising tool for you, because the family members, outside family members that are not their direct family members, they get this and they'll say, oh, yeah, that's that doctor's name. It's Dr. Dressler, because they'll always have this picture with my name on it. So they're not going to have to remember anything. And then it also has a way to get a hold of us in all kinds of ways. So next picture. This is really how the entire patient journey is supported by Rhinogram. Rhinogram, the first thing is we do a lot of digital marketing that drive people to text pictures to us and or to our website, which will also drive them to text pictures to us, so that we begin a relationship with them from the privacy of their home and continue from there. And then and as mentioned, once they text pictures in from their home or their couch or on the beach or anywhere, wherever they are, and we begin the dialogue, we then can give them what they need and then continue to communicate with them and get things signed from home by sending them the mobile forms with e-sign, and then the scheduling. And as you can go through this, we schedule, we then, have the virtual waiting room if need be. All of this is done before they walk in, and then they can either walk in or not, but when they do, And after we've scheduled them, we go through what I just described. And then we continue this communication because they realize they can communicate with us about any or all of their needs. And I would tell you, it is like concierge treatment. They have such easy access to us in any way that they want, and it drives patient loyalty. It drives them referring their friends and family to your practice. So without Rhinogram, I could not do any of this in this way. So these are some additional features that are really wonderful for those that have different language patients in your practice. We have auto language translation built in, and let me explain how that works. They can text in Spanish. It comes to you in English. You text back in English, and it goes to them in Spanish. So you can communicate really easily. And I've used this, not often, but I have used this when I have a 100% Spanish speaking person, and I know un poquito Spanish. I've had to have them text what they were saying from their phone in the chair, and I've looked at my phone through a Rhinogram app to understand what they said. I texted back in English, and it goes to them in Spanish, and we're communicating that way in terms of making sure we're on the same page. So again, it's nice in numerous ways. We do have industry-specific orthodontic templates with no size limit. We can attach videos to these templates as well. And virtually the vast majority of responses from my practice are templated. So anybody can do it. They you know, it doesn't take a special educated to that area of the practice person. Anybody can respond, and you're not worrying about what they might have said or did they get it wrong, because again, you can have as many templates as you wish. There's very little staff making up their own responses to the various things that they're asked or texted in.
Right. Is that the last of them for the morning?
No, I think we got
Two.
No, yeah, but it's good
Anyway,
for the morning, right?
Somebody's
If you don't mind muting yourself while we listen, that'd be great.
yeah. Anyway, the other thing in new patients that's being done through numerous Rhinogram clients, they have this video library of their practice that they attach a welcome video of the doctor. It's usually very short. So when a brand new patient texts in inquiring about things, whether they've texted you pictures or they just might text in, hey, what is the cost for Invisalign? What is the cost for braces? They are given back a welcome video of the office. Hey, glad to meet you. They're also given back some information about if you're willing to text these sort of pictures to us, we can get you a cost. And if you'll text in the front and back of an insurance card so that we can understand what your insurance may pay, we'll be right back with you. So there's lots of people using pre-made office videos that they've made for their office that they send out, and they can simply text it to the phone and the person see the video. We have a lot of analytics that are built into Rhinogram that you can look at of how you're getting these new patients and how many of them are going to come through just texting in, how many are coming through your website, and how many of them may come through Facebook Business Messenger. We are integrated with Facebook Business Messenger, so you don't have to monitor your Facebook page for your business page for understanding who's wanting to message with you. When they begin to message on your Facebook page, it'll come directly into Rhinogram. And likewise, we provide you a website widget to put on your website so that if somebody wants to message with you right this second, they can be on your website. They'll click the message me now button, and it'll go directly to your office, and your office staff, whoever wants to be replying, can reply. And as I had mentioned, the vast majority of these replies are simply pick a template and go. So it's click, send, you're done. And there's your reply. It's that fast, and anybody can do it there. When we get the most common question, how much does it cost? We have a cost template that basically says cost is based upon severity of case and type of insurance you have. If you're be willing to text us in these 3 pictures on the front and back of the insurance card, our financial coordinator will get back to you with the exact cost and payment plan. And, you know, that's the only way we're going to be able to give them an exact cost. And 98% of the time, I'm able to do that. In 2% of the time when I can't, I text back, I'm very, very sorry. Your case is incredibly difficult, or you've got lots of baby teeth that I have no idea what's underneath them. I am going to need to see you for an in-office visit to be able to tell you anything about what your treatment would be like. At any rate, that's how I handled that. The other thing that we have that is just, again, our clients just love is Rhinogram University. Again, we have video content, industry specific, meaning orthodontic specific videos that you can use of ours that we have, document education tools, your staff, you know, if you have staff turnover or you hire new people, additional people, then you can always send them to Rhinogram University to learn how to use any piece of Rhinogram. We have a video that goes with it, plus again, all these education, marketing materials, etc., that we make available. Use what you want, change them and how you want them to use. And then I have to brag, it's pretty much unparalleled customer support. We are there for you. Any problems that you have, you let us know there, and just check out some of our reviews, and they'll tell you how we're there for any problem, anytime there. Next slide. Rhinogram is a technology that, unlike other technologies that have been implemented in your practice that truly do not save time or money, they actually create work. Rhinogram actually takes away work from everybody's day, and it is going to eliminate 1 to 2 hours of time for every single person. And by doing that, you can read these things. It takes away time from and reduces administrative tasks. You can handle 10 patients by text or messaging in the same amount of time it takes you to speak by voice to 1 patient. So the power of multiplication here in how many you can see in the amount of time, or how many people you can take care of in an amount of time, is just astronomical for your team. And because you can bring people into conversations, what you're going to find is this. At the beginning of the year in January, I was really taken back because patients that understand that it's patient-initiated communications in the way the patient really wants to communicate with you, not how you force them to communicate with you, meaning if you are solely voice and solely answering machine or email, that's not how they want to work these days. Most patients want a text or social media message. That's how they want to deal with you. And if you're not giving them that opportunity, then they're not able to do what they actually want to do, what makes them more efficient, and actually what makes you more efficient. So here's what happened. In January, all of a sudden, all these patients have been texting for all this time, began to text in the front and back of their insurance card. So they're saying, hey, here's my new insurance for this year. Oh, by the way, can I get my account balance? I got a stimulus check. I'd like to pay more. And I need to change my appointment from here to there. So now they have texted you 3 to-dos in one text. And the cool thing is, very simply, very easily, you bring in the 3 individuals or the 3 departments that would handle that. So you at insurance department or insurance team, you at the appointment team to change the appointment, and then you at the financial team. So all of them begin to respond to her or that person, it happened to be a her, in their time frames, but it's all being taken care of, and you didn't have to deviate. You brought all 3 teams in to that conversation that begins to converse with the patient, and it's really, really good versus, hey, well, let me do this. Oh, let me transfer you here. They're not ready to talk to you. They, my financial coordinator's out. They'll get to you. They'll call you back. And when you get into calling, phone tag is forever. When you get into texting, it just happens, and it speeds up the day on everybody's convenient time. And again, no pen and paper, departments, etc. You can ask us about AAO special pricing, and you can contact us at hello@rhinogram.com. Text or call our number at 423-800-7644. And I think it's now time for questions and answers.
You're right. So also, Sherry here is on the call. Sherry Anderson is going to be your product specialist representative. She's got everything. She's the knowledge expert for you guys, and she is got lots of times open in the booth to schedule one-on-one if you're more interested and want to hear about that. But we can move on to some questions and answers here. We want to give you guys the opportunity to ask some good stuff. So the chat is open. Feel free to send in those questions. And it looks like I've got a few here. We'll go ahead and get started. All right, Dr. D, what would you say to a provider who's hesitant about making the switch to hybrid care plan?
Well, I would just tell them that, again, if you're interested in delivering the most exceptional experience without sacrificing any quality of care, the experience to the patient is just unreal when you can minimize the number of visits they have to see you, as well as giving them exactly what they want, a communication method that they prefer. And I said it earlier, I'll say it again today. It is like they have concierge care and concierge treatment. They have a simple and easy way to get a hold of you that they're comfortable with. And we're in this society now that is instant gratification. And they feel like they're instantly, quote, replied to or taken care of. And they know what an expectation is, and including after hours, or maybe when you're not there, you may say, well, who's going to handle that? Well, we have auto replies. So it sets the expectation to the patient of when we're going to get back to them. And that's all they care to know. And lots of times they're doing things in the middle of the night, like changing appointments. Hey, they've had a death in the family. They know you're not going to answer this at 1 a.m, but they'll say, can you reach back out to me tomorrow and change my appointment to the following week because I'm having to attend a funeral or something to that nature. And again, it just makes it easy when they lead the conversation versus docs having doctor-initiated communications was what everybody was doing. And this is sort of reversing that paradigm. It's patient-initiated texting communications, not doctor-initiated appointment reminders or doctor-initiated this, that, or the other. It's patient-initiated.
Awesome. All right. I got another question here. The world has changed since the pandemic. What changes in your practice do you see sticking around even after COVID-19?
I would say COVID-19 helped me fine-tune the hybridization of how I treat. I don't see much of anything changing. It actually has improved our way in my practice of taking care of people, that both is better for us and better for the patient there. So not much will change. It forced us into this new paradigm that I was sort of doing anyway, but we were able to fine tune lots of things and begin to do more things that took things that were traditionally done in office and took them to the patient's home.
Awesome. All right. One last question here. What does your staff like most about this hybrid approach?
I would say what every staff would want more of, and that's time. They have so much time now that they didn't have before. And what you have to understand is when someone texts in, I don't want you to view this as, oh, it's like the receptionist is the only one who's going to be doing it. We have 5 different departments logged in at the same time. So whoever's available to answer, answers. So again, you're multiplying who can respond to someone and you're actually disseminating information in real time because every department sees it in real time. So that's actually very good as well.
Awesome.
In there. And I do want to make one last point here, and that is going to be that for practices who think that they've got a limited version of what I would call bidirectional texting. I've got bidirectional texting, but they use it in this form. They're using it as if you can't get somebody by the phone traditionally, and you spent all this time trying to get them by the phone, then text them. Well, if you do that, and that's your paradigm of work, you really have added work to someone's day. That's not the paradigm I'm talking about with bidirectional texting. I'm talking about switching the entire paradigm from, let's say, 100% voice or answering machine-based communications to 85% text messaging communications, 10 to 15% voice, and maybe 5% video. And it's that whole paradigm shift that saves time and lots of money.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you so much for being here, Dr. Dressler. If anyone else has any questions, feel free to reach out to hello@rhinogram.com. Book a meeting with me or Sherry inside the AAO booth. Be sure to ask Sherry about the AAO special. And I hope you guys learned a lot today. I know that I always do. And we're just so thankful for you. And we're here to help you in virtualizing your practice. So feel free to reach out and have an awesome Friday. We'll see you later, guys.